This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
For the coming year, the shir is sponsored by two anonymous sponsors and by the Profesorski family, Leila Nishmas Esther Bas Nisan and Eliezer ben Yeshua Tovia. I don't understand why you just can't hold it. Eliezer ben Yeshua Tovia, and by the Stern family, Leila Nishmas David Levi ben Yeshaya Zev and Cyril Bas Yeshaya. By the Hoffman family, the Refu Shalema for Chaviva Bas Lulu Khatun and Shlomo Hillel ben Aziza. We don't know, of course, also the Refu Shalema for my Rebbitzin, Miriam Liba Bas Tavora, and we also learn Dr. Eisenberg Sr. tomorrow is going in for emergency surgery, so we learn for Moshe ben Brindel that he should have a Refuah Shalema B'Sech Shechel Yisrael. Before I introduce to you our Choshev speaker, we're very proud that one of our homegrown products tonight will be speaking in the shul. Shay's Zayda was from the founding members of the Agudas Yisrael of Staten Island and was actually on the small board that chose me as Rav. And of course, Shay's father, David Aleya Mashalom, was a shining example of reaching out in Kiruv and in Harbatzis Torah all over the world, and Shai is following in his footsteps. He's a Chaver HaKollel of one of the illustrious yeshivas of our time, Yeshivas Chofetz Chaim. Before I give over the podium to him, the pulpit to him, I want to go over with you a few things about not Yom Kippur, about Erev Yom Kippur. So, the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch says that on Erev Yom Kippur is a special day for tshuva. That means he cites a pasuk. The pasuk says, "Lifnei Hashem titoru." Before you come to Hashem, and that's of course on Yom Kippur. Lifnei Hashem, the day before titoru, you should purify yourselves. So this doesn't just mean with the mikvah. To purify yourself means to do tshuva. Now, the business of tshuva is, let's say you know, for example, it's plaguing you that you know that one Friday you lit the candles late. It's bothering you. You shouldn't have lit the candles so late. So before Yom Kippur, you should do vidui. Now, the nusach of vidui is very, very straightforward. Ono Hashem, chatosi ovisi poshati lefanecha. Chatosi means if it's unwittingly, ovisi because of the Yetzer Hara, or poshati, rebellion. None of us do that. Poshati lefanecha. Ba'avoin hachomer shel chilul Shabbos. V'harei ani nichamti u'boshti b'masai. I'm nichamti, I'm grieved and embarrassed with what I did. Ula'olam eini chayzer l'davar zeh. And I will not go back to this. Now that's the nusach of vidui. It can be found in the first parak of the Rambam in Hilchos Tshuva. Your husbands could show you where that is if you want to look it up. Now, it's a mitzvah to do that. Let's say you lost it with your husbands. It happens sometimes with human beings. Let's say one time you weren't nice, or you yelled, or you said something nasty. Ono Hashem, chatosi avisi poshati lefanecha, ba'avoin hachomer shel kas, lebaili, leishi. Here's the catch. if you're a straight shooter, if you tell the truth, you can't say, who are you kidding? It's never going to happen again. So then you say, I will try. That's what the Mabit calls tshuva b'miktsas. We could do that too. Now you could use this formula if you were on the phone and you realized you botched up and you talked to somebody about your sister. Or you talked to somebody about somebody in shul. So Ana Hashem chatosi avisi poshati lefanecha ba'avoina chomesh shel lashon hara. V'ariani nichamti u'boishti b'masai. But this is the business of Erev Yom Kippur. It's more important than Kreplach. It's more important than Kapparis. This is Lefnei Hashem Titaru. Purifying yourself before you come to Hashem. It's a pleasure to see my mother here. Mommy, it's good to have you. Now, there's a big mitzvah on Erev Yom Kippur to eat. It's a different kind of mitzvah than any other day of the year. Never do we have an opportunity to eat, and it should be considered like fasting. Do you know that Rava used to fast two days? It's just like we have a 2-day Yom Tov in the diaspora because of Sveika de Yaima. So the Gemara tells us in Masechtas Yuma that Rava fasted 2 days. That's what the Gemara tells us. Rava fasted 2 days. We don't do that because we're too weak. That's what it's brought down. We're too weak. Nechlushu ativim. That's a Yerushalmi. We're too weak to fast 2 days, 48 hours. But when we eat on Erev Yom Kippur, it says, whoever eats on the 9th, ki'ilu hisanet shivasiri. It's as if you fasted on the 9th and the 10th. So much so that Brisker adherents from Brisk would put a sucking candy in their mouth and suck candy the whole day so that it should be considered like fasting. The whole day. And that's why on Erev Yom Kippur, you should daven mincha Erev Yom Kippur. Because in Erev Yom Kippur there's vidui. We say the al-chetz. Now why are we saying al-chetz Erev Yom Kippur? We're not fasting, it's not Yom Kippur. The answer is, it's like a ne'ilah. It's like the end of Yom Kippur. Because we're fasting the whole day by eating. Now why is it a mitzvah to eat? What? The original sin that brought death to mankind was eating. And therefore, we atone for eating, for the original sin, in both a positive way and a negative way. On Erev Yom Kippur, we eat, showing that we know how to eat right. And on Yom Kippur, we listen to Hashem and we don't eat. We have the same thing, Purim, Yom Kippur is Yom Kippurim, the same thing on Purim in the reverse. On Purim, we first fast, and then we eat on Purim. It's the reverse. The most simple reason why we eat on Erev Yom Kippur is because to be able to fast. And the reason why it's considered like a fast is hechshe mitzvah kemitzvah. A preparation for a mitzvah is like a mitzvah. That's the most simple reason. But there's another reason. In Tefillah Zakah on Erev Yom Kippur, those that get a chance to take Tefillah Zakah, we say that when I fast, there's no food in my body. But the body needs nourishment. So it eats away some of the fat of my body. It depletes some of my blood reserves. I'm giving fat and blood. So we say that fat and blood should be like a carbon. Carbon, we offer the chalavim, the fats, the klayos, yeseres hakaved, the lobe of the liver, we offer that on the altar. So we're offering some of our fat and some of our blood as an offering to Hashem. But beforehand, when they would bring a carbon to the Beis Hamikdash and they wanted to bring a chata shmeina, they would fatten the carbon. By eating Erev Yom Kippur, you're fattening L'Shem Shemayim, the korban you offer on Yom Kippur. That's eating on Erev Yom Kippur. In Bells, when they ate the Sudas Erev Yom Kippur, they put on already their Yom Tov Begadim. You know why? See, Yom Kippur is a day of great celebration. What happened on Yom Kippur? Hashem gave on Yom Kippur the second Luchos. That's when Moshe Rabbeinu came down. It's a Torah day. So really, it's Simchas Torah, we should eat. We can't. So Hashem says, I give you a make-up date, Erev Yom Kippur. We celebrate Simchas HaTorah. We celebrate Slicha v'Kapara. So therefore, it's a Yom Tov. You should wear your Yom Tov Begadim when you eat the Suda before Yom Kippur. There's a big machlokes whether women have a chiyuv to do this. Because people say, well, it's a mitzvah sasei shazman gram, it's limited by time, women are potter. But wait, if it's in order to fast better, you have to fast, and then you have a chiyuv. If it's in order to fatten the korban, you're also offering a korban, then you have a chiyuv. So the prevalent opinion is that women also should do this. And since there is a big shita that it's a make-up date, so make-up date would mean that already Thursday night and Friday, like a Yom Tov, already Thursday night there's a mitzvah to eat, to fulfill this mitzvah of eating on Erev Yom Kippur. It's a very big mitzvah. Who doesn't want to chap around in this mitzvah? Imagine you're eating and it's like having another 24-hour fast. That's a wonderful thing. Another way to fulfill Lifnei Hashem Titaru. First of all, you should be giving tzedakah. You know, they say before you fast, drink a lot. Stuff yourself, because then you won't have a headache, you won't be dehydrated. Drink, load it in, drink. You have to go to the bathroom, drink. Same thing is true with tzedakah. Tzedakah. Any envelope you find in the house, send out a few dollars. Tzedakah tatzim amavis. Tshuva tefillah, tzedakah, mavinas, right? It doesn't say tshuva tefillah to Shabbos. It doesn't say tshuva tefillah and anything. Tfut, above the 613 mitzvahs, tzedakah is the go-to. Give tzedakah, keep on giving tzedakah. Be nauseous about tzedakah. It's very important. I sit down with Miriam Libby. She's lying in bed. She doesn't even have koyach, but we fill out those tzedakah things to Rabbi Cantor and to Rabbi whoever sends it in is taking care of Rabbi Ruvain. All those letters in the mail. Send as much as you can. They're lifelines that the Rebbeinu Shalom sends to our house. Of course, Bikur Chaylim. Of course, Tamchei Shabbos. Of course, Agudas Yisrael of Staten Island. Of course, Young Israel. That's Aniyah Yercha. RJJ. That's without question. Chavetz Chaim. That's without question. And finally, I'm going to tell my wife she's going to be so happy of how many of you came out for this Osiris to hear Shaya. Finally, we don't want anybody to be hurt because of us. We don't want it. Somebody that did something not nice to us might break a leg because of that. Might get a sty in the eye. Might have a miserable Pesach because of what they did to us. Say, Hashem, please, on my account, I don't want anybody to be punished. I know the person was wrong and it caused me a lot of pain, but on my account, please, don't hurt anybody. And the Rebbeinu Shalom likes that. It's in the Tefillah Zakah. Lo ye'anei shum adam b'sibasi. Don't punish anybody because of me. We say it in the Tefillah Zakah. But who has time to say the Tefillah Zakah? So say it. Hashem says, oh yeah, you're a sport? Then I'm not going to punish you either. Remember, get that to-do better list in your Mauser. What am I going to do better? Maybe I'm hard on my husband, on my wife. Maybe they have enough tension at work and I'm just giving them more tension when they come home. That's not the job of a wife. Ultimately, the biggest job of a wife in life is to be an azer to her husband. Am I an Ezer? When he sees me, does he feel better? Am I relieving the pressures that he has? That's an Ezer. That's a big judgment. Again, I remind you of the pledges for Zichron Shalom Refuah Fund. It's a big nachas to Mim Libby. My wife wanted to know if anybody is going into Borough Park tomorrow, maybe she could take the bag, she or he could take the bag straight to Razy Ziegler. My daughter has the address. That would also relieve her. Oh, you know what, Devora? I'm going in. Who is that? Who is that? You're going in? Okay, good. So you take it. You take it. I'm going to be. My wife has a test tomorrow, so I'm going to be running back. So good. So Mrs. Moskowitz will take it. It's in good hands. By the way, I'm just looking over here. Saul Goldstein sends everybody his regards. Again, I want to say that we appreciate everybody coming and Reb Shaya preparing a very important shir for you. Listen carefully, and the idea is that not just to leave and say, that was a good speech, we know it's going to be a good speech, but take it to heart and see if we could implement what will be said. And that merit, may Hashem bless us all with a Gemar Chasima Tova Mesuka.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.